Welcome to NFL Daily, where we're starting our official campaign to get an Associated Press vote for MVP. I'm Gregg Rosenthal here in the Chris Wesseling podcast studio with Jourdan Rodrigue and Colleen Wolfe. We're back.
What up?
I keep sinking.
Your chair is sinking? Or just the...
No, just like psychologically.
Oh, okay. It is that time of year. We will give our award picks. The Associated Press votes were already due on Monday, so we might as well give our choices. We don't have a vote, though. We'll also do a little bit of news. And then most importantly, Colleen, what do you have next to your chair?
I have a stack of Christmas cards.
Yay.
Yes.
From you guys.
And
you delivered.
basic shows, do Christmas content around Christmas. The cool ones who want to extend it out because there's so much Christmas stuff around Christmas, do it after like a week into January.
If your Christmas tree is still up, you are going to love this show.
Listen, as someone who loves the holiday season and loves Christmas and New Year's, and as someone who works a lot on those days and the surrounding days, I need to extend my holiday season. I still have gifts wrapped under the tree that have not been given out yet. My tree is still up.
I just took mine down last night, but we also missed the birthday
way to one-up Colleen
on the show. And
yes, so
and happy birthday, Colleen.
Thank you so much.
21.
Exactly. I can finally drink. So excited. Yes.
You want to
entire month
celebrate by talking about
firing
coordinators getting fired.
So
if you're just joining us this week, we had a show on Monday afternoon, myself and Nick Shook, going through all the head coaching changes. There haven't been any more since. So there's 6 vacancies for head coach. Kind of waiting on Baltimore. That's the one that I think like both in New York and Miami, maybe the teams are watching and wondering if John Harbaugh shakes loose. But at this point, we only have a few coordinator updates. Let's start with the Commanders. The rumors, the report from Diana Rossini over the weekend ended up being true. Kliff Kingsbury out after 2 years with Dan Quinn as the offensive coordinator. Joe Witt, the defensive coordinator, also is out. That one less of a surprise. He lost his play calling during the season. Connie, are you surprised? Like a day after Jayden Daniels kind of speaks up about how much he likes, Kliff Kingsbury, and his mom sent some things out on social, how much she likes Kliff Kingsbury, that they got rid of Kliff Kingsbury.
Well, I did find it surprising that the endorsement came from Jayden Daniels, and then it was like, well, that doesn't really matter. And we talk so much about consistency in the league and how important it is for especially a young quarterback. And we saw what Jayden Daniels was able to do last year. And without his playmaking ability on the field, of course, the offense is going to suffer. They actually were pretty good at running the ball. Like that wasn't an issue. If they had Jayden Daniels available, I think things would be a little bit different. But I was a little surprised that they let him go.
Yeah, there was also some rumblings and murmurings about some tension between himself and the front office, Adam Peters specifically. This was also an Adam Peters press conference recently where he talked about, hey, I do think that myself and Terry McLaurin, for example, would have liked to get this deal done sooner, sort of admitting to a couple of mistakes that he made. Kliff Kingsbury is a former head coach in the NFL, and he also was pretty aware that he would be in demand for some of these other teams. I think that if you're going to make your wishes known potentially within an organization of the direction that you want to take things, you're either going to do that when you know you have nothing to lose, or there's a chance that they listen to you. And in this case, it was more likely to me that changes were going to happen regardless.
Yeah, I think based on the reporting in Washington from the different reporters there, reading between the lines, Dan Quinn, and there actually is a quote when he's asked about the hurry-up offense that Kliff Kingsbury had, because, offensively they ran way more, like hundreds of plays more in hurry-up than any other team. And Dan Quinn, talked about the...
Slow down already.
Yeah, like kind of the downside of that for his defense, which has not played well. And if you watch the whole Jayden Daniels media availability, and they talked about the offense, he did also say, though, he wants a voice in any future offense and how it's run that, like, we can best maximize. So who knows? Like, in the end, like, it sounds like Dan Quinn wanted someone based on the reporting, The Athletic and Washington, locally, Washington Post, like, who runs the damn ball a little more.
Yeah.
And the problem I have with that is just that the Commanders' offense was clearly the positive of this team the last 2 weeks, but he's not going to get another chance to be a head coach again, Dan Quinn, and he probably can't survive another season that bad again. So you got to go out with who you want, and I think they might have a specific idea of who they do want.
I agree with that, because if you also look at a firing that happened today, the Commanders fired their offensive line coach as well. And so this to me means that they're going to go throw the bag at somebody who is going to reestablish the line of scrimmage in a way that gives Dan Quinn's defense the benefit of more ball control on the offensive side. Because that's what you mean when you're talking about if you're a defense and you run this type of like bend, don't break defense that Dan Quinn wants to run, you already know you're going to be on the field a certain amount of time. You need enough sustained drives in a ball control way, time of possession, those types of things from your offense in order to, and you just aren't going to do that passing the ball. I think also this is Kliff Kingsbury, we know, loves the spread, and he loves the point and shoot, tell the quarterback what to do kind of system. I think he evolved a little bit with his usage of tight ends as well over the last couple of years. I think that bodes well for him overall, but it just seemed like a philosophical shift and perhaps a personality shift between the front office and Kliff.
And I wonder, too, if for Dan Quinn, if he's going to retain the play calling, like calling the defense, or if he's going to bring someone in to specifically do that again, too. So that's something to watch.
Man,
Raheem
things
Morris.
change because
buddy Raheem Morris.
Yeah, I was looking for the exact quotes for Jourdan Daniels when he did say, like, well, we're going to have to evolve and grow as an offense, too. And this is sort of like more of a college unique style of offense. And man, the social media, not as big on Adam Peters and Dan Quinn right now as they were 12 months ago when they were like the toast of the town. People are hating on Adam Peters, who doesn't have a lot of draft picks right now. And it just goes to show like how quickly things change. But
Kliff's now being paid by 3 separate organizations.
oh my God. And,
Wow.
Bag getter, Kliff Kingsbury.
He probably will get a job. This is how you know he's friends with all the insiders. Like, in Washington, or depending on who's reporting, it's like Kliff got fired. But the insiders, it's all mutually agreed to part ways. And I'm sure he'll get another job. And it really sounds like that people inside that ecosystem there covering the team think that they've got Brian Daboll circled. Jonathan Jones of CBS had a comment from a coaching agent who said, wait till you see who they get as coordinator. It's going to be better than some people's head coach options. And I'm like,
what?
It's a very small
Was
group
it your client?
Yeah, it was like, yeah, first of all, it's one of your clients. Like, no one really fits that.
I love this time of year so much.
Oh
I genuinely
God.
love it. It's so good.
It's Brian Daboll. There's no one else that fits that requirement. And I get it. All right, I'd be interested to see that. The Cowboys fired Matt Eberflus. I don't think there's much more to talk about that.
Is loose.
He's out. He's getting paid for a couple more years. It'll be interesting to see if the Cowboys really do try to throw the bag at Brian Flores if he doesn't get a head coaching job. Aaron Schatz at FTN Fantasy had the Cowboys as one of the 5 worst defenses, I think, of the last 25 years, which is crazy that they were that bad in terms of DVOA. So Eberflus is gone. And then finally, some Falcons news. This was from Field Yates that Kirk Cousins modified his contract too long to go through all the details. It sounds like it just makes it easier for them to cut him before the start of the season without as much salary cap pain. So it sounds like he'll be cut. But I guess the final decision might be going to team president Matt Ryan. Now, this is not official that it's going to happen, but Rap Sheet, Ian Rappaport, says that Matt Ryan is believed to be the favorite for the newly created title of president of the Atlanta Falcons. Yes, they're creating the title for Matt Ryan. Like, it's the most shameless.
Favorite.
Like, just pay the Rooney Rule fine, I think. Like, because they're going to have to go through interviews to satisfy the Rooney Rule. But they're literally creating a job for Matt Ryan to be in charge of football operations, more or less.
It's like when awards are created and then fake medals are given to people.
Right. But this is a real deal job. You know what I respect is now we're hearing after a differing report, also from NFL media earlier this week, that no, Matt Ryan will not be trying to work for CBS at the same time. It's like, yeah, this sounds like a full-time job. Like,
as you should do if you're going to have such a job.
Right. Like Tom Brady, I think that's the biggest problem. It's not the conflict of interest. I mean, there's a lot of...
It is what it is.
Yeah, the conflict of interest, there's a lot of those, and I do think that's a problem. The bigger problem is he's treating it like his fourth job, Tom Brady, and he's not doing very well at it. Whereas Matt Ryan, I guess, is just going to be like running the show now in Atlanta. I don't know.
Unless it's like more of an ambassador situation.
I doubt it. I doubt it very much because he was the last sort of ascension to glory of that franchise. And I know that group over there, one thing that is important is that this doesn't turn into the situations with quarterbacks who have gotten involved in the organization only to have that go very sideways. Elway and Marino is not really a big factor in decision making.
Marino had his moments. They had a run. They won a Super Bowl. But yes.
In terms of being involved in the front office,
yes.
Not really being a huge factor in the decision making there. So I think they want Matt Ryan to come in and absolutely run the organization from a president level, which, to be clear, is very different from running the organization like as a GM or as a head coach. It's a very much over the top role, whereas other people within that organization are going to focus more on like the soccer team and like the other business holdings. It's like getting another person in there whose focus is football. He'll have that title.
But he'll basically hire the GM and the coach. I mean, the owner will certainly have a big say, but Matt Ryan, like, what else are you doing unless you're the key person for that?
Nobody's saying that he's not going to have a big say. I'm just saying it seems a tailored role to specifically get him involved in the football operations of the team. Less so they reassign multiple executives, including Rich McKay, to focus on other areas of the team. This is all football. We need somebody who's been a part of this franchise at its peak to actually go in and run the football operations in a way that's not necessarily interfering with the GM that he probably will handpick.
It's more just I find the tweet funny that he will interview for the job that they created for him.
Later I hope he gets it.
And then Ian says he's considered the favorite.
Good luck.
All right. We have a very
polling for you.
short segment before these awards.
Yes, emphasis on short. It has been emphasized to me.
No, that's not true. But, we thought we'd have some fun with it. Jourdan has some GM deep dive tidbits, but we're going to really test
short.
She's cracking her knuckles right now.
Her broadcasting concision abilities, and we're going to put a clock on this. We're putting 60 seconds on the clock. Eric is back there. Welcome to Jourdan's GM tidbits. Start the clock.
Okay, I want to start with Miami because I want to get a little bit closer into the layers that these candidates have with the front office in general and the executive group that Stephen Ross is leading in this search. Alec Hallaby has been Howie Roseman's longtime right-hand man for forever, but also has a previous relationship with Stephen Ross, members of his family, and members of that executive team. Tariq Ahmad and RJ Gillen are two really respected talent evaluators in San Francisco, and Mike McDaniel has worked directly with them on team building and scouting, especially in the past. Josh Williams was a big-time favorite for that Jacksonville Jaguars job. A lot of people thought that he was getting that job. James Gladstone came in at the final moment and just blew the ownership group away. Josh Williams, I think, is a favorite for this job, as well as Alec Hallaby. He's also worked with Mike McDaniel very closely over the years. John Eric Sullivan, respected executive, been with the Packers his entire NFL career, knows the system Mike McDaniel runs really well. I would think that this is also an opportunity for the Miami Dolphins to ask John Eric Sullivan if they think Matt LaFleur might be available this offseason. John McKay is the dark horse, but his success out of Los Angeles recently includes Brad Holmes and James Gladstone. John McKay is very respected in league circles, especially scouting and pro personnel. That's Miami.
That was good. See, if I was giving you some feedback on how to get in that 60 seconds, forget the buildup. You got to get right in there. All right, let's get into the Miami thing. You got to just dive right in. Barry Jackson.
Thanks, Greg. I love feedback.
Barry Jackson.
Guys, I think the show is amazing, and I'm already 10 out of 10 for all the notes.
Miami Herald reported that Mike McDaniel will not be in on the GM interviews as previously reported. But there are 6 people involved in the Zoom interviews. Stephen Ross, the owner, and 2 of the others are Troy Aikman and Dan Marino, which just is funny that there's a 7-box Zoom. All right, let's do the awards.
And in Atlanta, I would call Ian Cunningham the favorite.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've now, I don't know how that all, like, how does, well, I don't even want to get into it. How does that all get out? Because, like, I've now seen that in 4 or 5
You know
places.
how it gets out.
I guess, but is, like, so Matt Ryan had no say in that. It all just seems kind of all backwards, but maybe they've been planning this for more than a month. Obviously, Raheem.
If a search firm is brought in with 4 or 5 weeks left in the regular season, they've already made their decision and they're setting up the pieces of how to move on and then into the next phase.
I guess we didn't know that it was there, but like a week ago at this time, we were saying the Rams win, that is going to be meaningful in that building, and now it's a week later, and they had already.
Yeah.
They had already picked it.
I had a dream last night that Les Snead was in the grocery store with me. That is so weird. You just reminded me of that.
That could totally happen.
What did you guys get?
He lives in the same
He was in the deli
part of
aisle,
town.
like ordering. Yeah, and I'm like, oh my God, Les. Wow.
Have you ever run into him just out and about? I feel like you're relatively close area of town. I don't even know.
Haven't.
No. Okay.
Never have.
Okay.
So strange.
MVP. So we've talked a lot about MVP. We did a whole show on Coach of the Year. Like, we could spend a whole show on any one of these awards, but we got to get to those holiday cards. So we're going to go through pretty quick
Very important.
of just like who we want and who are our final choices for all the big awards. It's actually time for delivery and results presented by Uber Eats. When football makes you hungry, order Uber Eats. They get the cream of the crop, the best award. We will decide our MVP picks right now. This has nothing to do with the MVP conversation.
Okay.
Colleen, who did you land on?
Well, I was between Matthew Stafford and Drake Maye, and I'm giving the award to Drake Maye.
Okay.
And he gets the award because obviously leading the league in EPA per play, but his efficiency was just unbelievable. He led the league in passer rating, completion percentage. Only Tom Brady and Kurt Warner were quarterbacks to do both of those things, finish the year leading both of those categories. And taking a team that had 3 wins to a team that now has 14 wins, won the division, was almost the 1 seed in the AFC. He raised the ceiling so high, and he did it with a supporting cast that is nowhere near what Matthew Stafford has. So for me, Drake Maye is the MVP. Plus the dual threat ability, how mobile he is, what he added on the ground as well. He was able to third and long situations. Like he played at a rate that I don't think a lot of people expected him to.
No, I'm reminded of Nick Wright giving me grief, I think on our show, that we had Drake Maye before the season ranked around 15th or 16th overall in the NFL already. And he's like, well, doesn't he have to prove it a little more first? And I was like, I thought he already kind of did to be 15th or 16th. Yeah. Now we're talking about MVP. I never saw that coming. So you would have Stafford second. Your choice.
I flip it because I've been Matthew Stafford MVP all year. I'm sticking with Matthew Stafford MVP. Drake Maye is a very, very close second. I think Drake Maye will win the MVP.
I don't.
Really?
But I'm going with Matthew Stafford. I think the highs are unconsciously high. The floor, he raised the floor of his play. You know, sometimes he'd be streaky. He was a little bit in a couple of weather games this year as well. Carolina looms large. But I think with Matthew Stafford, he also didn't have Puka Nacua for part of the season. He also hasn't had Devontae Adams. They're making it work with like this Frankenstein's monster 11 personnel with a rotating third receiver constantly, and then this 13 personnel that you can't get these tight ends. You can't maximize these like truly kind of middle level tight ends in the pass game without a quarterback like Matthew Stafford. He makes everything go in this offense. This offense is tricky. We all know this, even with boy genius play caller in Sean McVay. I would argue that
Two kids now. I don't know if we can call him a boy genius.
I would argue
about to turn 40.
I would argue that Matthew Stafford has actually made Sean McVay better.
Oh yeah.
In so many ways, and he's the MVP to me.
Grown man genius, maybe.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
It really rolls
two
off
kids
the tongue.
now, and
Totally.
he's hitting 40 soon. I think. I don't know when his birthday is, but I believe he's 39 years
old. Mr. Gundy always said, once you turn 40,
I'm a man.
You're
I'm
a man.
40. I think it's Maye, but they're a strong one too. We've talked about it a lot. I saw one tweet which kept captured it in a funny way that I appreciated it, but I pretty much agreed, which is like stats guys say it's Maye by a mile.
Yeah.
Because he's first in
Everything.
completion percentage, yards per
Yeah.
attempt. He has like the biggest, for someone with that high a completion percentage, his yards per attempt are higher than anyone in NFL history. Success rate, completion percentage over expected. It's crazy. Like some of the stuff is the highest since you've ever measured. A passer rating, QBR, all that. But to me, it's like the running that kind of puts it over the top. It's a pretty big deal to me. So when I think the passing is close, then that just gives him the edge. But yeah, the tweet was like, stats guy have Maye by a mile. Film guys have Maye, but just by a little bit. But the TV analysts are like, my dear friend Matthew deserves the award. And that is why I think he's going to get
Troy,
it.
Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
I trying to do my
Matthew
Troy impression.
Aw, I love that one.
But yeah, I think Drake May's going to win MVP.
I don't, 'cause of the people-
I'm holding on all season for Matthew Stafford, and that's what I got to do here. Consistency.
We love it.
I love it. And he's a great choice too. You could vote top 5 for MVP. So I have seen, like, I don't know, there's a lot of TV people with the awards now. They changed it up. I got some inside information this week.
What?
Well, when I noticed, so Kyle Brandt has an award because he's been talking about it on Good Morning Football. And I was like, oh, I didn't think NFL media was allowed to have the awards because that had been the case in the past. And they changed that rule this year. And there's a few that were in. And
this is your moment, Greg.
Well, it should be. I've have it on information that my name was brought up as a possibility, but I didn't get it.
Oh,
So, I don't know who else. There's a few others in NFL media that also have it too, and great for them.
I hope Judy
But
has one.
I'm gonna.
Batista.
I think that's a wise guess.
How
Actually,
angry will you be if I get one before you?
no, I'm not gonna be mad at the people. It's not their fault. There are a few outside of our company that I've noticed that have it. That I am upset about, but
He's noticed. He has a radar
noticed.
tracking.
The more
I'm
important thing is
noticing. That's
we
our
really-
line this year.
we really
That's our line
we
this
really
year on
support the
NFL Daily.
Associated
I've
Press here.
noticed.
We appreciate the
Yeah.
process because we're beginning our year-long campaign to get a vote for next season.
Get
right
Greg
now.
a vote. Get Greg a vote. I
Um,
need this.
because
We
we
should
would
we should have the listeners write letters.
yes.
in your
You
behalf.
I don't know if that
have
would
been
help.
On
a
your behalf.
pivotal piece in improving the voting
Well,
process, even minus a vote.
I've always wanted them to have more of the voting, and so I would include some people I feel like that don't get enough votes. And so my top 5, because you get top 5 for MVP, would be Stafford second. I think I would vote Myles Garrett third.
Mhm.
Like, why not?
Yeah.
Just like no one's just do it. And I would have Herbert fourth, and then it was between Josh Allen and
Mac
Christian
Jones,
McCaffrey.
baby.
It was not Mac Jones or Brock Purdy.
Davis Mills, your
It was
guy?
his teammate though. I thought the word valuable gets people caught up, and it is kind of nebulous. But because of that word valuable, I'm going CMC. I think they have one of the very best offenses in the league, and he carried it because he was there. So I would go 5th for him. There we go.
Okay.
Get Greg a
Um,
vote.
I'm gonna try. We got an off season to do it. I don't know how to do this. Let's take a
You
quick break.
genuinely deserve it, though, Greg.
It's not about deserve. It's about
You would honor the vote.
I would.
so highly.
and we would make a meal out of it on this show too. You know,
Oh,
Right.
we'd never,
build,
we'd
It's all
never
about
hear
the
the end
show.
of it.
No, I'm
truly.
saying it'd be great. It'd be
We'd
great
never hear the end
for
of
the
it.
community.
Great for the content.
It'd be great. I'm watching every game every week. I don't know if everyone that has votes doing that, but let's take a break and let's come back and we'll do all the rest of the awards and get to those holiday cards.
Great.
Back on NFL Daily. Enough about the conversation. Although we will have Patrick Claybon update the final
I'm
standings
so excited for that.
for the MVP conversation on Wednesday's preview show. It felt wrong. He's been working hard to make him come into work just for that. So he'll be here on Wednesday. But we can go through the other awards. Defensive Player of the Year. Just out of curiosity, I went to check like the betting lines for this at some point. I think it was last week, and it was off the board. You weren't really allowed to do it because everyone
It was
just
so
knows
obvious.
Myles
Yeah,
Garrett
Myles
is going to
Garrett.
win the award. So I think we all probably would agree with that. If
Yeah.
there's anyone else that you would want to, just put a name out there that you would put on your ballot, I could start, or you guys could. Up to you.
It is Myles Garrett. If I were going to do a ballot somewhere on there, I don't really have the thought fully formulated on where.
Mhm.
Cooper DeJean, I think, would
Nice.
be on there somewhere. Has had an incredible, incredible season.
Yeah, and he's played so many different positions too. Vic Fangio has kind of used him all over the place. Maybe a little Will Anderson Jr.
That's my number 2.
Yeah.
So MVP you get to rank 5, which I think is cool because the reason I think it is especially cool is you'll get to see on Pro Football Reference, blank came in 8th for MVP that year, which actually does tell you something about like the NFL that year and how it's all ranked and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's cool. For all the other awards, it's only 3. And yeah, Will Anderson to me actually was my clear number 2. And just does everything for the Houston Texans. And
one of the most fun players to watch. We were talking about how much Chris Wessling would have loved watching this emergence of Will Anderson Jr. Just like a joyful, violent football player. Just incredible. I love him so much.
And I do like having the Texans represented somewhere.
Yeah.
And he's obviously going to be the guy. Daniil Hunter, a lot of people noticing,
I'll
didn't even make the Pro Bowl.
I'll get you on this a little bit further down.
Oh, okay.
Here.
I did.
Would Brian Burns be anywhere?
He could be. I think he might get in the mix. I think he'll get some votes. I'm definitely a victim of recency bias here. But I started thinking about it, and that game the other night, actually, I think was a great case for Kyle Hamilton as number 3.
Yeah.
Because like that without
the stat differential.
like and just all season long, it's just a bad defense. Like it's a terrible defense if he's not on the field. And he was a unique player. Part of the problem is there's so many edge rushers that are all awesome picks that I just didn't want it to be 3 edge rushers. So I threw in Kyle Hamilton as number 3.
I would put Derek Brown on my list somewhere. He's had the best season. Honestly, Jeffrey Simmons, unfortunately, is not going to crack a list because of how bad the Titans were. But especially watching how well and how much he was dominating through even deep into the season where like lesser mortals would have just mailed it in at that point. Incredible season. Derek Brown has had among the best seasons of a defensive tackle we've seen in a while, in my opinion. Just absolute disruptive force.
I think Simmons has a shot here to get a decent amount of votes because actually the case for him
and he caught a touchdown.
The case for him and Hamilton
right.
was very similar to me that I realized going through the All-Pro. Those were the 2 positions where there was the clearest difference between 1 and 2. Like who's the second best safety? Who's the second best defensive tackle this year? Like there's a reasonable debate, but like there's no doubt who number 1 is. And to me, that would be Hamilton and Jeffrey Simmons. So good shout out there. Offensive Player of the Year. Now, sometimes like it's like the second best quarterback. Sometimes this is where the skill position player comes on. Every voter can choose how they want to do it. Colleen, what did you go with?
I went with Jackson Smith and Jigbo.
Mm-hmm.
He just was so on it this entire year, averaged over 100 yards per game. He was at least 70 yards in 16 of 17 games this year.
Dang.
Like, this is a guy who was the focal point of the Seahawks offense, and he still was able to time and time again produce numbers and get open. And he was awesome to watch all year.
Yeah, I have him as my number 1 too. I would probably put Puka Nacua second.
Same.
And I think there's a couple linemen maybe who would offensive player of the year recognition. I would like to kind of get the movement.
Well, that's
going.
the thing is if we can get a vote in here, we're going to try to be the change that you want to see in the world. The famous Gandhi quote.
Yeah.
And not really a Gandhi quote.
Aaron Brewer, I think.
That would be spicy. I have Bijan Robinson as my number 1 because to me it's just best player in the. If there's a best player in the league award, which should be the MVP, like he's a pretty good choice for it. And then I have JSN and Puka, same as you guys, as my next 2. But I think this is an award where you should be willing to get creative. Hell, if you want to vote a Herbert here just for the fun of it, like I don't know, I wouldn't mind seeing some votes here. But Bijan,
the first 8 games, Jonathan Taylor would be in there.
You could vote Josh Allen here, honestly, because of the run and pass difference that he's made.
Yep.
Whenever the button is pressed.
I thought of punishing Puka for ruining the Rams season when he went on the live stream, but the numbers were kind of, and just the eye test was, it was kind of undeniable.
It almost makes him a case for him, like when the vibes are bad, how bad the team looked. It's like, it has that effect. It has that effect.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Don't do stupid stuff.
And I like the idea of sometimes splitting your votes in ways that are purposeful. So I put CMC on the MVP ballot, But then Bajan, offensive player of the year to me is just most outstanding. So Bajan gets the offensive player of the year, but give CMC some MVP vote and kind of split the baby that way. All right.
I hate that you use that phrase.
It is
Split the
not a
baby.
good phrase. I agree.
I clock it every time you use
Where are you with throw the baby out with the bathwater? Same thing.
it. Listen, as long as the baby's intact.
Well, might not be. Let's go offensive rookie of the year. I've already kind of said my piece on this one, which was Teteroa McMillan, so I'm not going to repeat myself. I ended up the quarterbacks canceled each other out because I didn't want to go Tyler Shuck, but it's totally reasonable to go Tyler Shuck just because he didn't play long enough. So then him and Dart sort of canceled each other out. So then I went hipster and went Armand Membu number 2
Oh,
and
wow.
Travion Henderson
I went hipster. he
number
says.
3. This is what I mean. But like Armand Membu
No,
should get
Emeka Egbuka?
to get some votes. I mean,
I know he fell off at the end of the season, but man, the rookie.
His peak was so high.
Yeah.
I feel like the top 8 guys, and I would throw Harold Fannin in along with Egbuka. I'm not going to have a problem with really any order. I don't think.
Tet McMillan was my one.
Okay.
Injured, but Quinshon Judkins.
Yeah.
Tet McMillan was my one. I couldn't decide between Shuck and Dart for the second. What a phrase.
Okay, so
Shuck
second
and
and
Dart.
third.
Shuck and Dart's fun.
And you're right. Egbuka could easily. I thought about going 1-2 McMillan Egbuka, which would be fine, but in the end, like I did ask around a little bit about Membu and stuff. If you think about it, I think he's probably at his level for the position that he plays, that those guys are, or more. And that's hard to find. That's very valuable.
Yeah.
He played the entire season, no injuries, all that. So a little bit of love for him. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Why don't you go first, Jourdan?
Defensive Rookie of the Year, I've got Carson Schwessinger first, but closely followed by Nick Emanwari. I think that Nick Emanwari turning into, I call the Seahawks defense personnel neutralizers. He's the number 1 personnel neutralizer. He is so versatile. He can play this big nickel, Buffalo nickel. He could be a hybrid safety. He is a physical force. He's a really smart player to be able to take on all of the things that Mike McDonald has asked him to do. And he is a key difference maker in that defense that really takes it from an A+ defense to an A++ nightmare of a defense, because they can give you the same look against any personnel that you use. You don't know how they're going to play you because it's the same players on the field every single time. They don't need a sub.
He was like quite literally almost the missing piece for them, like the final extra guy that Mike McDonald had to add this offseason to get them to be the best defense in the league. Fun one.
Another extraordinary defense was the Cleveland Browns, and Carson Schwessinger was the green dot.
That's
and the Cleveland
most
Browns as a
impressive thing.
rookie inside linebacker, and broke tackle records, like all this stuff. He's incredible and took the ball away. Like he had some injuries, but like incredible. I think he is the defensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, he impacted the game in so many different ways, whether it was with sacks, with interceptions, with tackles. Like he was in every phase, just kind of all over the place. But I feel like as a rookie to wear the green dot from the opening week, that is so impressive. And to be able to, like, the game moves so fast. And I talk to players all the time about this, even just like players that are working here. So you have like Michael Robinson and Gerald McCoy, and they're talking about when they were rookies, how quickly everything was moving and how they were so awestruck by the way that the veteran guys would know and make the calls and be like, here, just do this. Just trust me. This is what's happening over here. And he'd be like, how did you see that? How did you know? And for this rookie to be able to right off the bat just impact the game like this, his ceiling is so high.
And you get a little extra credit if you're a leader, which obviously you are if you have that green dot, for a great defense. So it's not like he was doing it for a lackluster defense. He's doing it for one of the best defenses in the league. So he's my choice too. We hit this on 40s and free agents. By the way, you might have noticed in your feed, Daniel Jeremiah and I are back doing weekly shows building up to free agency and the draft. So it kind of combines the two. I'm excited about that. I put Xavier Watts as my third guy with Emanwari. James Pierce, though, is a very strong.
That's a great one.
DJ was kind of offended, and he was right to think that it might even be James Pierce's award. I have a feeling it'll be Schwessinger Pierce or Schwessinger Emanwari Pierce in the final awards. But either way, all good candidates. Colleen, your coach of the year.
This one's so hard. This one's so hard. Like, because, okay, I'm going to go through my list.
Okay.
Because
in order. You got to just make a decision.
All right.
Or not. You
No,
want
you
to
know
talk
what?
it out and then make a
No.
decision? That's fine.
I'll give it to Mike Rabel.
Okay.
Mike Rabel is the coach of the year. Like the turnaround that this team saw, and everyone thought it was a little fluky at first. Yes, the strength of schedule maybe wasn't the same as some of the other coaches that are on my list, like Mike McDonald, Liam Cohen, even Kyle Shanahan, Ben Johnson. All of these coaches did such a good job, but I think that Mike Rabel, this team, he elevated them to, there aren't many like headliner names on this roster. And yeah, now they're becoming headliner names and household names, but I think that if he had some of the stars that the other coaches had, that maybe he wouldn't be my number one, but because of that, because of his roster and the success that they sustained and they were consistent throughout the entire year, he's my guy.
Plus the mustache
And the vest,
slash
that
red sweater vest combo with the old school Pat Patriot. Who else could
Perfect.
actually pull that off?
Nobody.
Not many.
Yeah, and even if he couldn't, you would not dare say anything.
No,
So,
you wouldn't.
Everyone go check out. There's a great social clip of him talking trash to Stefan Diggs like during the game about how Stefan Diggs never blocks, so that's why like you're not getting the ball or something, and they're giving it back and forth. It's just you can kind of see in this interaction him taking the piss out of Stefan Diggs and him liking it, and everyone laughing and going back and forth.
Oh, I
It's
love
like,
that.
This is why players love to play for him, which is a big deal. Your choice.
he is my number one choice, Mike Rabel. And everything Colleen said, but then also people are easily forgetting he had to basically make up for multiple awful drafts and go in and really put his stamp on the front office as well. And he had to hire out a complete new coaching staff. I think being bold enough to bring in Josh McDaniels, who has a stellar reputation as a schemer and a play caller, but also a reputation for being difficult to work with. Not that he's a mean guy, but just difficult. And to bring in players, coaches who also know their stuff all around as like a sort of like bubble around Josh McDaniels, I think was brilliant. I think it was a brilliant move to coach the way that he did, despite, I believe it's his defensive coordinator who's going through a cancer battle, to galvanize the team the way that he has. Listen, there are a lot of really well-deserving candidates for this. Mike McDonald was my second choice. Ben Johnson, Kyle Shanahan, Liam Cohen, we cannot forget.
It's crazy
All
if
of these-
Liam.
All
There's
of these
so many
guys
good ones.
are so good at what they're doing. We're seeing a golden, and I know you don't want to put too much, you never want to put too much on coaching, but like I love coaching, and like we're seeing a golden era of coaching in football right now with some of these guys, and Mike Vrabel is at the very top to me.
I've talked Coach of the Year a lot. We did a whole show on it, so I don't want to repeat myself. I'm going to stick with where I was at, which was McDonald 1, Kyle Shanahan 2, and Ben Johnson 3. But it is crazy to have a list that doesn't have Liam
I
Cohen
know.
or
He's done such a
Vrabel. For
and
whatever
Liam
reason,
Cohen
I
was
punish
himself.
Vrabel a little more for the strength of schedule than I do Drake Maye, because I do think the coaches were. But it's silly. You mentioned the talent, because that goes for Maye too. Like if Maye wins the MVP, for instance, he'll be the first player of all time that wins the MVP without another Pro Bowler on his team, like on his offense.
Wow.
But that kind of makes Vrabel's case too, that he inherited a team without a lot of top shelf talent, and he does get a little extra credit, I think, for the player acquisition stuff too, which he is a big part in which they absolutely nailed. Final one, and this is where we're getting
fun
real
one.
dorky
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Assistant Coach of the Year. I'll lead here.
Okay.
I don't think you're going to take mine. Not that we can't have the same one. I'm going to go with Broncos offensive line coach Zach Strief.
Yes,
Why not?
I love that. I love that.
Look at you.
Wait, what's the group that's like everyone kind of recognizes? Oh yeah, they're the best offense. They're the best offensive line in the league. And when you look at the names on that group, yeah, Garrett Bowles, but he's playing better than he's ever played. He's like an All-Pro now. They're not super duper stars. It's definitely a Sean Payton thing, where he's had great offensive line, but I'm going to give it to an offense. I always like the offensive line coach. So I'm going to go Strief first. I'll go Flores second. And I'm going to go Anthony Campanile, the Jaguars defensive coordinator, third, because he's got like a top 8 defense, which if you just look at the talent, you could definitely make the case that he could win the award. You could make that case with a lot, because there's a lot of great assistant coaches. But those are the 3 that I went with.
I was between Brian Flores and Jeff Halfley for the
Wow.
top two.
Look
But
at us going defense.
I know.
I love this for us.
But I liked Brian Flores for this award.
Yeah.
Just like, I mean, the way that they attacked all year long, and everyone, they led the league in interceptions. Is that right? I'm trying
I
to.
believe, well, no, because I think the Jaguars did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but they're up there. And then pressure rate certainly led the league. Yeah, outside the Texans. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, just no one else, no other defense in the league looks like
Yeah.
him.
No.
Preparing for any other defense, he's like an author. You know what I mean? Like
He's an artist.
he kind of
Right.
is. That was why I put him second. Was just kind of he gets extra credit for the fact that like there's no one else like him.
Yeah, I love that. He's totally, and I love that he stayed totally himself. Like he's clearly, he's talked about the lessons he's learned along the way, but in terms of he throws what he knows in this scheme, and it is incredible to watch. It's creative. It's confusing. It's a beautiful thing. I'm gonna go for my number one with Houston Texans defensive coordinator Matt Burke, because DeMeco Ryans turned the keys over to Matt Burke pretty early on in the season. Matt Burke's been calling the games for this Houston Texans defense. And I have to tell you, first of all, he does an excellent, excellent job. I think along with Flores and Campanelli, probably going to get some head coaching interviews here down the stretch. Just really fundamentally sound, tries to put every player in the best possible place to succeed. And it's really not easy if your defensive-minded head coach is sort of checking your work every single call and trusts you enough to actually bring this defense to life the way that it certainly has sustained down the entire season. My second is Clint Kubiak. Has done an excellent, excellent job with Sam Darnold, with the Seahawks offense, especially if they can run the ball the way that they have. Running a modern throwback of his dad's old offense, which
So
I love
cool.
so much. It just speaks to some of the football's poetry for me. Brian Flores is my third. I know we can't get four, but Campanelli would be my fourth.
That's fun.
By the way, I meant forced fumbles
Forced
in
fumbles,
terms of because they have 18
It's
interceptions.
crazy.
They only have 8, but the 8's kind of like mixed me up there. So then that's But
They
forced
take the
fumbles,
ball away
up.
like crazy. It was a good point because they were attacking even when the rest of the team was lost cause.
Right.
And it was crazy to watch.
They also were the first team since the 80s to go 6 straight games without surrendering a passing touchdown at one point. I think that streak ended by the end of the season, but that's just a wild
man.
streak. To go like a month and a half without giving up a passing touchdown is crazy. All right, it was fun. We did the award season. This will hopefully be the last time that it's unofficial. We got to
Right.
get that official ballot. But we would do the
Greg
show.
out.
Anyways,
vote.
we would reveal the votes. It's time. This has all been preamble.
Wow.
Yay.
We've had a month plus to really
A lot of buildup.
get ready. We asked the listeners of the show to send in some holiday cards.
Yeah,
And
guys, we have a whole.
It's a lot.
A whole stack of cards.
a different sort of show would have opened them before the show and like picked the best, but that's
Right.
not us.
That isn't.
I love us being us.
So what we'll do is just we'll put them in the middle,
Oh my God.
We're
right?
all gonna get to
and then
read 'em.
and then we're all just gonna pick one from this bunch.
We will open
Okay.
them all in the end. This is crazy.
Yes.
We got too many.
Okay, so this one comes from Jacqueline, Andrew, Elvira, and Macready.
hmm
2 cute dogs, and Andrew's in a kilt.
Look at this
I love
sweater,
that.
Dog.
I know.
The dog's in the sweater.
Oh my gosh, so cute. Okay, so dear Colleen, Greg, and NFL Daily family, thank you for another year of laughs and football goodness. I've been listening to the pod since 2014, which happens to be the year I met the love of my life, Jacqueline. In the years since, I started working for Disney as a ride engineer. Does that make us coworkers now? Question mark.
That's great.
Adopted a pair of pups and married my best friend this past November on 11/11/2025. Happy holidays from a Chargers fan in Florida.
That is
Congratulations.
All right,
I love that.
I'm going to read one. This is care of Colleen Wolfe. You got to add the E on Wolfe, but no,
It's okay.
no hate here. We love the Sims family. And I'm not judging Donnie. So if you are the patriarch or the mom of this family, but Donnie is probably a guy, no hate, because I write like a 10-year-old or 12-year-old too. But if this is one of the kids of the Sims family, I really love that because it does look like
So cute.
childish handwriting, which I love. It's Donnie, and he's the most diehard Packer fan ever. Since he lives in Tennessee, he has to be a Titans fan too. Worst decision of my life. This is definitely a kid.
Yeah, this is so great. This is so cute.
Also, I have friends who just happen to be Colts, Bears, and Chiefs fans. Life couldn't be harder for them. The Packers are the best. Anyway, could you do a segment about the Packers, please? Colleen, I'm just going to say the Colts surprised me this season. One day,
Aww.
it is a kid. I'm going to be a reporter, too.
Oh.
'Tis the season to spread the love. How about 10 times more than last season? Love that.
Oh, my God.
We wish you a Merry Christmas and go Packers, go. So I don't know which one is Donnie here, but we love you, Donnie.
That's so
You are the
great.
champion.
I love this.
So we have a really nice holiday card from the Lepentas.
Okay.
Hopefully I'm saying that right. Beautiful family. The
I
kids
love
have
their tree.
Their reindeer stuffies as well, which is
Aw.
really cute. This is from a female listener of
Yeah.
ours. Hell yeah. Merry Christmas, Colleen. I love listening to you on NFL Daily. You all have helped me in so many fantasy leagues. Currently in the playoffs in all three when she sent this. Give us an update.
Yeah.
Gina Lepenta, give us an update on this. I am also from the Philly area.
Yes.
Now live in Minnesota. So I, of course, share in your love for the EAGLES Eagles. Keep crushing it, girl. And happy holidays to the NFL Daily crew. Go Birds.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we need an update on that fantasy football.
This is so
This is actually just going to be the show from now on. We're just going to
is so
read cards from
nice.
you. I'm so happy right now.
So nice.
Okay, I have one here from Theodore Thomas. Ooh, Canada. Okay. Merry Christmas. I hope you have an incredible holiday season full of family, friends, and football. I'm so glad that you are back for another season of NFL Daily. I always look forward to Tuesdays. I wanted to write you a card this year to tell you
There was a couple weeks when we didn't
I know,
have
that's
to,
true,
know,
that's
but
true.
Good we got you back.
what an awesome inspiration you are to my young, or that you are to young people, not just young girls who love football, but young boys too. It's so important for all children to see badass women in sports media. I wish there had been more of you when I was a kid. As it is what it is. I look forward, I think, as it is. Yes, I look forward to watching you on Sundays with my future children. And I know that you will continue to kick ass and take names in the media world. I also love the updates on your new dog. I empathize with your struggles, and I'm a foster dad to a dog from a local shelter, and some of them have energy to match Kima's. Kima pooped
How is Kima?
Kima pooped on my floor this morning. Wishing you and your family a wonderful holiday season. If you're ever near Toronto, Ontario, hit me up, and I'll let you in on all of the local secrets.
Love
It's
it.
very
Love it.
awesome.
Thank you.
Aw.
That's awesome. I didn't really think about the fact that these are all addressed specifically to Colleen, but we're reading
I
them.
did get a really nice one from that same letter writer too.
Aw.
It was very nice. I recognized the handwriting.
That's
yeah,
so
thank you.
sweet.
That made my day on Sunday when I came in at the crack of
Guys,
dawn.
we love cards.
I
okay?
love this. This one is from Tyler, Caroline, and George. I believe George is the little dog in the sleigh.
How
I don't think
You
cute.
go, George.
Caroline says, another Merry Christmas, Connie. Still appreciating everything you do in the NFL reporting landscape. Say hi to Jourdan and Gregg, too. The See You Next Tuesday crew is an elite part of the week. Love to you.
I
love
And
you guys.
Yours.
We have one from Amanda, and this is a beautiful photo. I'm taking the post-it off their card. A beautiful photo, beautiful wedding photos
Oh my
here.
gosh, congratulations.
Congratulations. And then on the back, we love dog photos. Thank you so much. And Amanda says, happy holidays from an avid NFL Daily listener and diehard Bills fan. There you go, Eric.
Hey.
Thanks for bringing joy to my commute all year long. And wanted to say, as part of this family's Christmas card, they noted that they did get to catch a trip to Buffalo for one last Bills game in the Ralph.
Get out of here.
Very,
oh, that's
very cool.
awesome. I love it.
Next one is from Irene, Iris, Emily, and Dan, the I-team. Lovely
Ooh.
to
Oh, cool card.
little babies.
Yeah.
We're a Penn State fan here. This is Dan who sent the letter. I can still remember, Colleen. Hi, Colleen. I can still remember your first appearance on the old ATL show.
Oh,
And that's
jeez.
Okay, so that's how you know Dan's a real one, because it was around the league for about a year, and then they made us change the name to around the NFL. Telling the heroes about the something you used to put together. I was student teaching then.
Binder?
Yes, the binder you used to
Binder.
put together. I'm now in my 10th year as a middle school teacher. Thank you for being such a joyful presence over the last few years. You and the entire ATN crew have been such a bright light in a murky, at best, media landscape. I like that little media criticism. We are a bright light and a murky, at best, media landscape.
I love it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. We actually got a Christmas card from Luke last year. I think his last name is Ganja.
I know the dogs. I know the dogs.
Well,
yes.
and
there's
we
a
got
paw print.
paw print on this one. I'm dying. I love it. For Colleen, also a Go Birds on the envelope.
That's
Love that. From one Eagles fan to another. Here's to either another Super Bowl win or a mental breakdown. You're a gem, and your presence makes football even more fun. Also, broccoli cheddar was 100% the best #1 overall pick. Big Howie Roseman energy. Merry Christmas
Wow.
to you and the pop. All the best, Luke
Shout
and
out.
Alice.
I love it. This is from Pittsburgh. It is. There was not a name included, but I think last name is Vernette. And it's everyone, addressed to everyone.
Yay. Okay. We
Starts
love
with
that.
Greg.
Oh, no.
Greg, thank you and your fellow NFL Daily podcast stars for making the NFL even more fun to follow. I've been around long enough to know success starts at the top, and you have assembled a great team. Was this Greg writing to Greg? Here is my wish list for 2025 and beyond. Raiders. Defense is not a rumor. Chargers. It's okay to sack people in a pass rush. Seahawks. You kept saying you'd be back next year, but I still haven't recovered from that pass in Super Bowl 49 instead of handing it to Marshawn. Trust doesn't heal overnight. To Colleen, Merry Christmas to you and all Eagles fans, where this year any December win feels like a holiday miracle. To Patrick Claybon, somebody please explain to me how you've come to know every famous film scene since the bandit fired his gun at the audience in the Great Train Robbery. I love that. To Jourdan, thank you for sharing your DNA with the NFL world and not penguins or the occasional wandering albatross. I think that's a sister as a scientist comment. To Greg, football nerd, straight man to his fellow podcasters, and the kind of voice that makes listeners feel like they're part of the crew.
Oh.
Thanks for bringing heart to every episode. To all the NFL Daily crew who keeps the chaos grounded and the conversations meaningful, thanks for making every episode smarter, warmer, and better.
Wow.
Guys.
That one's so nice, I think that we have to end
That's
on
perfect.
that. That is
Greg did write it.
amazing.
Greg, great job.
I thought it was going to be a voice that, only a,
Mother could love.
yeah, exactly. Or that cuts
No,
glass.
but you got it. His eyes are a little.
Aw.
It's very sweet.
when
And
Greg-
yeah, to everyone else who sent in, just shouting
you
out
so
some
much.
names, that the Handley family, the Line Webbers, Brad, Courtney, Hallie, Molly, and Barkley. Congratulations
Oh, how
on. We got a little
cute.
sister coming later in the
April.
year. Let's see.
The music ran
We've got Patrick, Christine, Owen, and Peter from the O'Mearas. Debbie, not my mom, Debbie.
Handmade card.
Shout out to Debbie. Happy
Oh,
birthday to her, too.
Debbie.
She shares a birthday with Colleen.
Get outta
My
here.
mom.
Handmade
She
card.
made a handmade
Yeah.
card, so shout out to Debbie.
That's
Big
gorgeous.
Big fan of that.
Beautiful.
Chrissy and Brad
Stamps.
Toysher, we love you. And I love this beautiful one from Louisa,
Oh.
or the Volses, and their baby
Their
is
new
Louisa
baby.
Jeanette. So thank you to everyone.
Guys,
that
this
sent stuff in.
really filled my heart.
Yeah.
I know. I needed
love
this
it.
today. Thank you.
And you
guys.
know when you actually need it? It's not right around Christmas.
Yeah.
Well,
Right after.
It's right now.
It's like right after January 6th.
during the crash.
You know? It's like a lot of bad news and
Yeah.
stuff beginning of the year.
Yes.
So we'll do this every year on
We
January
needed
6th.
this.
I I think that's actually, we can counteract the bad vibes, the bad history of the day with our own celebration. That's a good idea,
That's a
Colleen.
great idea.
We will be back on Wednesday, but more importantly, I will see you guys next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
All right, we'll be back on Wednesday. Ollie Connolly is joining our preview show this week, so I'm looking forward to that. We will go through all 6 of the wild card weekend games. I'm ready to consider that this is actually the best weekend in the NFL season. What do you think?
I think it is.
I think so.
It's been divisional round forever. But there's 2 extra games, so that's better. We'll see you at the preview.
Aw, that was so
So
cute.
Oh my God.